it's almost impossible for us to have harmony because we live in a world that's dominated by injustice, right? However, that injustice, in my opinion, from what I've learned, causes conflict between people that we share kinship with or people that's in our community, right? However, it's another side to that where we have learned a lot of behaviors that's not constructive. And I just like to say this and get straight to the point. Sometimes it's best to just leave people where they at and go about your business. Don't talk to people who talk to you in ways that will signal distress. Don't talk to people that's out to use you in bad ways. Don't talk to people or even be around people that can bring you bodily harm or mental harm. If someone is cursing you out, if someone is trying to be abusive to you, put their hands on you, threatening you, because if you don't do something for them, I don't care if they are your family member. I don't care if you guys have, you know, kinship. I don't care what type of relationship is. Get away from that person or people. And I practice what I preach in that regard. I promise you, I will not be around anybody that's looking to harm me or put me down if I have the agency to get away from them. It's so serious and it's so real to where you can't even entertain or allow people like that in your circle. The more constructive people you have in your circle, the better your life will be. The only time you should even communicate with people is if it's for something constructive. Doing a task, solving a problem, and then when that problem is solved, that task is done, y'all separate, y'all go about your business. Why? Because we live in a toxic environment, okay? And since the environment is hostile, the more time we spend not focused on something constructive is only going to leave room for error and for us to be at odds with each other. I made this short video. It's 8 o'clock where I'm at in Houston, Texas. And I made this video to get to the point. Now I have something constructive to do. I have to go and take care of some business because tomorrow I have to get to work, okay? And I want to enjoy part of my morning and my day, okay? So I only made this video to be constructive and to give you some game. Too often we spend time around people that's bringing us down. You gotta get away from people. Toxic family, get away from them. People that you thought was your friend that turn around and talk bad about you or, you know, wishing harm on you, get away from them. If there's no contact, then there can be no conflict. Who is the conflict going to be with? Themselves? You gotta get away from people like that. Peace. Welcome back, guys. So this is a recap of my week. I had to go to Houston, to Valdosta, Georgia, to 90 miles south to Tallahassee. From Tallahassee, came back to Houston. Houston to...
So I gotta drive through here. I had to get out and walk around. Now, when you get back here, it's not so bad. But I had to drive through here because I'm at a children's home thrift store. And that's me. That's my trailer that's at the end of the road. The building say 2809 South Adams Street. And I'm like, where am I going? So I gotta drive through here. This is why you gotta know what you're doing. When I say I've been in the trenches, I've been in the trenches. So you gotta drive through here. The place is on the other side. Yes, indeed. So I parked in the street. Somebody smoking some gas. This is Florida though. I parked in the street because I didn't know where to go, and I gotta drive through here.
Dallas back to Houston, Houston to Austin, back to Houston. Really wasn't a bad week. and I'm going to be happy next week when that pay come through. This week, I was like in between pay periods since I went to so many different spots. Next week, I have to go to Los Angeles, and I'm going to drop some game in this video about what I learned this week. Stay tuned. So I've been wanting to get some port experience going back and forth to the port of Houston, and this job promised me or told me that I would, and I've been getting a little bit frustrated because it hadn't happened yet. But this week I finally made it to the port of Houston. Guys, I went to Barber's Cut. So in this video, I had to scale a load before and after, which is a little bit of annoyance sometimes when you're really in the go. Then I went to, this is in Tallahassee, Florida. It was a children's home thrift store. So they got loaded and sent the thrift items to Houston, Texas. I made it back to Houston the following day at about 3 or 4 p.m. I slept at the shipper, which really wasn't a problem for me. I slept there. When I woke up in the morning, a guy came at 3 in the morning. They opened at 6:30, and he went inside before me and told them that basically he had arrived first. I was a little bit annoyed, like, bro, why would you do that? And I walked in about 6:40 a.m. and I'm like, hey, I'm checking in. It was like, oh, you got to let the guy go before you. I was like, I was here before him, but that's just a part of the game. Okay, next chapter. So after I made it to the shipper, I was simultaneously handling things and moving into my apartment. This is photos of the apartment that I'm moving into. And so I had to handle all of the paperwork through email while still doing my job. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is like we live in such a fast-paced world. Sometimes we don't have time to sit down. Like I literally had to, in between my, during my breaks or when I got off from work, had to handle things that was for myself. The next thing was I emailed a company about purchasing a truck from them. I'm interested in buying my own truck. I'm looking at putting about 10K down or maybe a 25 or 30K truck. And I found some really good trucks. And I'm new to that part of the game, but I know that is what I have to do to upgrade.
This what I was hauling yesterday. And they have these back rails right here. And I was trying to, when you got to get loaded, we had to switch the thing. We had to push it all the way to the back. And usually they have a button on the side. See, they show you right here. Empty, empty. That's a big container. And when it's loaded, that's how you're supposed to ride. And this is the pin that locks it in place. And I was trying to find the button on the side and I couldn't find it. So I was like, what do I do? So it's no button on the side. What you have to do is you gotta take this line and plug it right here. And that takes, that push the pin in. And then you just do a normal tandem reverse. And that's how you slide it back. And then you slide it forward and you put it in park. And you put the thing back where it goes to emerge the brake line. And then you're good.
So Thursday, I finally made it to the port of Houston. So my friends, Ray and Matt, showed me on the phone, basically walked me through. It was like some FBI type action. I called them on three-way, like, hey guys, I need help. I'm going to Barber's Cut. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a deer in headlights. Please help. Mayday, mayday. Ray and Matt, Ray took lead and Matt subsequently gave knowledge what he had learned. Matt was trained by someone on his job and also by Ray. Ray has the most port experience. So the Port of Houston, they have Barber's Cut and they have Bay Port. There is really not difficult for as Barber's Cut. It's just when you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you don't know. I spent about 2 hours at the port because after I got loaded, the lock pins wasn't exactly how they were supposed to be. And so I had to go to the swing lane in order to get it locked in. That's me in Austin, and I finally made it to Austin at about 7 p.m. They closed at 6. They were nice enough to still unload me, and I was happy because I wanted to send in the paperwork to show that I got it in, and that was my task for the day. The morning came. I was like, okay, I was really tired, got very little sleep because they really didn't finish unloading me until 12 a.m. So I slept from like 1 a.m. to 6:30, 7 a.m. And then I drove back to Houston. I had to hook up to this other trailer that was to start my week for Sunday, which is driving to Los Angeles. But when it was all said and done, it really wasn't so bad. And what I learned is that you have to stay humble, ask questions, receive good counsel, and you can go far. I had another guy named Jameson who helped me a lot too and told me about the port previously.